A man against another man. A favorite centuries-old spectacle. A show of blood, sweat, stamina, and pain. Punches and kicks, hacks and body slams, strangleholds and painful holds. A crude amusement for the spectators and a tough job for the fighters. Fights for big money and sparrings free of charge. Some make a living, others put on a money-making show. But many fight just for fun. This kind of single combat is called mixed fight throughout the world. People in Russia prefer a more honest name, a fight without rules. Russia, St. Petersburg Palace of Sport seating 6,000. All tickets to the M1 Challenge tournament of fights without rules are sold out. The central spectacle is a super heavyweight fight by professionals from various countries.
16 wins with 3 losses. He's fighting out of Korea. Please welcome Sang-Soo Lee.
Sang-Soo Lee is South Korea's champion. He scrutinizes his rivals before deciding which of them he's going to fight. This time, he has challenged a Russian fighter. Alexander Yemelyanenko is the top 10 of the greatest fighters without rules. He does not select his opponents and is ready to fight any of them. Some time ago, he went in for Sambo, the Russian wrestling style of self-defense. He is an excellent fighter. Sang-Soo Lee has very good punching skills because he has studied Taekwondo, the Korean martial art. But during a bout with him, the Russian athlete did not resort to hacks and body slams. He did what his coach had told him to do, beat his opponents using his own weapon. Alexander Yemelyanenko is a crowd puller. He grew up in a provincial town called Stadioskol. When he was still a boy, he enjoyed fights in bars and out in the streets. He is an electric welder by occupation, but his calling is that of a fighter. Spectators regard Alexander as one of them. They like his amicable manners and his showy way of wrestling. Only the athlete himself and his coach know the price of victory.
3 training sessions every day, nothing but training and competitions. Yes, nothing but training and competitions. He simply has to stick to this sort of lifestyle. This is the life of a hermit, you might say.
Полина! Полina, come over to Daddy. Полina, come over to Daddy. Fly in outer space. 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off.
Alexander has 2 daughters, Ksenia and Polina. He met his wife Olga in a fitness club where she was employed as an instructor. That put an end to her career. She became a mother, a housewife, and an agent of a career wrestler. She does not like to watch her husband's fights, but she supports him as only a woman can.
The main thing, I'm always by his side, sitting somewhere there in the audience close to him. I give him strength by whispering something to him. I'm bringing him strength.
Whispering?
Yes.
Well, I certainly didn't know that.
The fighter, dubbed Vicious Death in the United States and Japan, is a loving husband and a caring father. Alexander got the nickname for his awesome tattoos. Tattoos are the only hobby he has. He has no time for fishing, hunting, or other amusements.
As soon as I did one tattoo, I saw the need for another, just to make them symmetric. There you are. Then I looked at my fancy arms and thought, how about all the rest? That's no good at all, I thought. Then I did it here and there, and little by little I covered the whole body with tattoos.
More than 100 fights without rules take place in the world each year. They are held in various countries. The United States, Netherlands, Brazil, Japan, and Russia are the recognized leaders. The first ever project of this kind without parallels anywhere in the world has been created on the basis of the Russian M1 League. It brings together national teams from various countries of the world.
M1 Challenge project is a project of a world league. The competitions are held in every country. All of them have very good fighters, and they're going to take part in the M1 Challenge tournament.
The Russian M1 League can present a real challenge to the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the most profitable and best-known league of the mixed martial arts. UFC tournaments are held in various countries of the world. The industry costs a total of $1 billion. 275 career athletes are under contract with the UFC. They often compete in different weight categories. One fight brings them from $5,000 to $100,000.
Americans account for 90% of the US team. In the US, they don't select fighters, but simply take on Americans, and that's it. But there are also fighters in Finland, Spain, and Bulgaria. They could simply shred the others to pieces, but they don't give them enough opportunity. M1 Challenge will give everybody a chance.
At M1 Challenge tournaments, Russia is represented by two clubs, the Legion and the famous Red Devil Club. Fyodor Yemelyanenko, Alexander's older brother, is the team's legendary fighter. He is the world's best fighter of his kind. Fyodor's most spectacular title performance was when he met Tim Sylvia, several times winner of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Sylvia in the elusive fitting black trunks. Fedor looking relaxed. Nice left hook by Fedor. Good inside. Sylvia's in serious trouble.
It took 150 hours to make the champion's belt for this fight, but it took only 36 seconds for Fyodor Yemelyanenko to win the right to wear it.
Now gets the hooks in. Looking for the rear naked choke. Wow. Has the rear naked choke on. Sylvia's in big trouble and he taps. That's it. That is it.
UFC President Dana White would have signed contracts with Fyodor and Alexander Yemelyanenko a long time ago. The trouble, though, is that his terms are unacceptable.
It's a matter of national pride. They're not allowed to take part in sambo tournaments. They can't put on their blazers before a fight. And Fyodor and Alexander are the only fighters to face such conditions.
Oleg Takhtarov was the first Russian fighter to conclude a contract with the UFC. Before that, he had won several tournaments in jiu-jitsu. Oleg is the first Russian UFC champion. When he wound up his career of a professional fighter, he gave up the ring in favor of the film set.
I'm the only mixed fight world champion to be trained as a drama actor. The only one among the Ultimate Fighting Champions. Macrocosm itself edges me on saying, "Come on, Oleg, do it. Why should I dig in heels?"
Oleg Takhtarov finished the school for actors at Hollywood. He appears in 24 films. His recent job has taken him to Russia, his home country.
Camera. And action.
Hey, who are you?
I'm the samurai's brother.
I don't think you look like him at all.
Hey, what's going on here?
Oleg Takhtarov was the first to demonstrate the technique of Russian wrestling sambo, and he used it in his fights to the best advantage. He was one of the fighters who revived interest in fights without rules in the mid-90s.
Underway. Tank Abbott. Oleg Takhtarov. Tank, quick move.
In the finals of the 6th UFC tournament, he beat Tank Abbott, the favorite of American fans to become champion.
Takhtarov going for the choke. This could do it again. That's it. Takhtarov wins it at 17:47.
He earned the nickname of the Russian Bear for his magnanimity to prostrate opponents and unpredictability in the ring.
When I could hurt somebody, I did it in such a way as not to injure him. My only aim was to make them surrender. Then I let them go. I never scratched faces unlike what others did to me, and I never hit a fighter when he was already unconscious.
Fights without rules are couched in myths about the fighter's cruelty, violence in the ring, and injuries incompatible with life. In fact, it's a modern sport, including a harsh standoff between men with some elements of a show. The show involves a lot of painstaking work by scores of staff, setting up the ring, video cameras, tuning up the sound and television displays. The Ultimate Fighting Championship earns more than $5 million in pay-per-view resulting from TV broadcasts. As for the Russian M1 League, so far it does not yield much profit, and its fighters do not get hundreds of thousands of dollars for each fight.
On average, they paid $10,000 or $20,000 for a fight.
Alexander does not have a house of his own. He rents an apartment for himself in St. Petersburg. It consists of 3 rooms and a kitchen.
I think I'm young enough, and so we'll have everything we need in due course. It takes more than one day to build something. It's only brick by brick. I'm quite sure everything will be okay with us.
Alexander cannot spend the money he earns on his family. Much of it is spent on the coach, private doctors and masseurs, to say nothing of the need to pay for the apartment. Some of the money is set aside for training sessions and gear. Fights without rules are not only a lifestyle and a professional sport, it is also a regular job.
No aggression. You have to enter the ring being cold-blooded and to do what you have been trained by a coach.
2 sisters, Natalia and Zoya Dodiev, are not as famous as the brothers Emelianenko. However, they have many fights without rules to their credit.
I've taken part in something like 100 fights.
More than that.
Yeah, maybe more. Each show contains 2 or 3 fights.
The girls are on the way from Moscow to Ryazan. Several hours later, they will enter the ring. Russia, Ryazan, a town not far from Moscow, a local restaurant. Tickets to a show or women's fights are sold out.
Miss Baby Cecile in the right-hand corner. Her opponent Angela is in the left-hand corner. I have a question to put to our referee. Is everything ready? Can we start the ball rolling? Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
The girls in the ring are former gymnasts. They imitate punches and body slams used by fighters, observing no rules as taught by a friend who's a film stuntman. In accordance with the wishes of the customers, the girls fight in soap form. That's women's wrestling, Russian style.
Angela is using a choking method. The fight goes on. There are now 3 of them on the mat. No more rules as I see it.
The girls' pay is $120 US. They take part in 3 or 4 fights in a row. They practice most of the punches, but it's impossible to foresee everything.
Today the girls are really excited. 70 kilos of flesh fell on my head.
70, mind you.
75.
60.
The success of the fights without rules involving women is the result of the popularity of real-life bouts.
Turn around at the leg split, from toe to toe.
There are even special versions of mixed fight for children. Nadiman Sharipov goes to a sports school in Moscow. He's 11 years old. He's getting ready for Moscow's